Assalamualaikum. My name is Widi Mutakin, founder of Expo Studio and Expo Academy. In this video, I want to show you how to model and texture a book using Blender. This can be useful when you need to present a book cover design to your client, for example, or perhaps just to use it as a decoration for your 3D visualization or 3D animation projects. Please note that this video is not intended for complete beginners. You need to know at least the fundamentals of Blender to follow along. Nonetheless, if you get confused, you can pause the video and check the screencast keys at the bottom left corner. Okay, we can start with the default cube. First, we need to change its dimensions. For this project, I want the width of the book to be 15 centimeters. The thickness should be 3 centimeters, and the height should be 24 centimeters. Don't forget to press Ctrl A and choose Scale. This will reset all the scale values back to 1. Okay? There are many types of book bindings and covers in the market. For this project, I want to create a hardcover book with the papers a bit curved. For this, we can go to Edge mode, Ctrl R, and add at least 6 loop cuts on the side. Then, go to the top view and activate wireframe mode. Switch to vertex mode. Now, we only need to select 2 edge loops at the center, so press Ctrl numpad minus 2 times. Next, we want to move these vertices. We want to do it with the proportional editing feature active. For the influence type, we should use the sphere option, as this resembles the paper curve we want to create. Now, we can start moving the vertices. Without releasing the mouse button, rotate the scroll wheel up until the influence circle does not touch the top and bottom edges, because we do not want them to move long. Alright, we can turn this off for now. Let's go back to the solid view mode. Select these 2 edges at the corner, and then bevel them just a tiny bit. Next, we can select the front face. Hold Ctrl and then select the other faces until the back face. Press Ctrl I to invert the selection, and then press P and selection to separate the faces into a new object. Basically, now we have 2 objects, the cover and the papers. Okay, for now, we want to focus on the cover object, so let's hide the paper object. Next, we want to add more edges in this area. Besides using loop cut and slide, you can also perform simple edge duplication. But for this, you need to turn on the auto merge option, and just make sure these options are all active. Now, we can press Shift D, X, and then move it slightly. For the rest, we can press Shift R twice. Okay, don't worry about the other side, as we will mirror the model later. For now, let's just focus on the front side. Select all faces, then press Alt E and choose Extrude Faces along normals. Make it go outside and make sure the offset even option is turned on. Revise the thickness to 2 mm. Before we mirror the model, select this face first, and then move it just a tiny bit in the y-axis direction. Now, we can mirror the model. Make sure all faces are selected, and then open the Mesh menu, and choose Symmetrize. We want to duplicate the negative Y side to the positive Y side. So, change the direction option to -Y to +Y. Now, we have a symmetrical model. And also an additional center edge. You can just leave it as is. But if you want to remove it, you can hold Alt and click to select the edge loop, and then Ctrl X to dissolve it. Okay? As a final touch, we can make the edges at the cavity look sharp, so select them. Sorry, not this one, but this one. Then right click and choose Mark Sharp. Now we can go back out to object mode and then set the shading to auto smooth. I believe the book cover model is done. Now we can unhide the paper object. Let's scale it down by pressing F, then Z, and make it roughly this size. Don't forget to apply the scale so all the values are back to 1. Next, activate the wireframe mode. Select all the vertices on the right side and then move them to the left to about this location. Alhamdulillah, the book model is done. We can now move on to texturing. For the book texture, I have prepared it inside Affinity of Record. Besides the cover, I also created a texture for the paper. As a disclaimer, I did not design the book cover. I just downloaded it from an online stock. The only thing I did was add the text. After that, I export everything as a PNG file so it can be used as a texture in Blender. Okay? As a reminder, if you like the content so far, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. This way, you will get notified when I publish new content in the future. Back in Blender, to assign the texture, we first need a material. Name the material book or any name that makes sense to you. Then, open the shader editor. Now, because I am using the node Wrangler add-on, I can simply select the main shader node and then press Ctrl T to create standard texture nodes. Click on this open button and choose the texture file exported from Affinity. To see the texture in the viewport, we can activate the material preview mode. Currently, it looks awful as we haven't set the UV map yet, so let's do that now. First, we want to create UV seams on the corner edges of the cover. To quickly do that, we can switch to face mode, then hold Alt and click on this edge. As you can see, now all of the faces at the border of the cover get selected. We only need the edge loops of the border, not the whole faces. For this, we can open Select menu, then select Loops, and then choose Select Boundary Loop. Automatically, we are in the edge mode and only the boundary edges are selected, all other edges are not selected. In this condition, we can right click and then choose Mark Seam. Okay, now that we have the seams, if we go to face mode and then hover the mouse here and then press L, the selection will be confined by the seam edges. After that, we can open the UV menu and choose Unwrap Angle Based. Now, we can start to see the texture, although still not correct. To fix this, we can open the UV editing workspace. Select all the elements by pressing A, press R to rotate, and then input -90. To easily align the UV island to the texture, we can use this tool called Transform. This tool has scale handles on all 4 sides, which makes aligning UV islands so much easier and faster. Just repeat the process until the UV is perfectly aligned to the texture. Now, if we go back to the 3D viewport, we can see the book texture correctly shown on the front surface of the cover. Okay. For the back or inner surface, we can go back to face mode, press Ctrl I to invert the selection, and then perform the unwrap angle based command again. Go to the UV editing workspace. Now you can create a more detailed version of the texture in Affinity so that the border and the inner cover get their own textures. But I am too lazy for that. For now, I just scale these UV islands to 0.1, press G, and move them so they are inside the pink color area. You can also place these islands inside the purple or the beige color areas if you want to. If we go back, we can see that the inner surface of the book cover is now pink. Next, select the paper object, assign the same book material, go to face mode, and then select all the faces. Use the unwarp angle based command, and then open the UV editing workspace. Press A to select all, press R 180, then enter. move it up here, and just drag the scale handles so the UV island is correctly aligned to the texture. And that's it. We can go back to the layout workspace and see the result. Let's activate render view mode. For your information, I am currently using the Cycles rendering engine. I won't cover the rendering process in this video, but I want to show you one last tip in terms of modeling. If you want to make these sharp corners a bit round, you can assign a bevel modifier. Then set the amount value to only 1 mm. As you can see, now the cover border looks better and more believable. And here is the final result after tweaking the materials, adding some lighting, rendering, and post-processing the rendered image in Affinity. If you're interested in learning Blender from the very basics, especially if you want to use Blender for architecture and or interior design projects, then you should join my online course series. This course series will guide you step by step from basic 3D modeling, authoring PBR materials, texturing, UV editing, lighting, rendering, compositing, and so on. Currently, I am still adding more courses to this series. Hopefully, all of them are done by the time you watch the video. Besides on Payhip, you can also find these courses on Udemy and on Skillshare. That is, if you prefer these learning platforms. I hope you find this video helpful. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Wassalamualaikum.